Check one, check one, check one. Yes, everybody, we back on it again. It's a Sunday morning, the 26th of January. The time is 12:36 p.m. in the afternoon in Central European time, and that would be 6:36 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, USA. You know what I'm saying? And the place where somebody looks like they're getting robbed out of a vote. But before we get from to that, because that's later on tonight, yes, I did say that correctly. There are people now that have data that strongly leads to the election possibly being stolen by Donald Trump. Yes, that means votes, legal votes that were not counted, voter fraud. Yes, y'all. And so let me go before we get into that topic that's later on today. So, everybody, please come out and join us. If you catch this stream or any other stream, remember to hit the like button, subscribe, because it gets the algorithm out there. And I don't usually talk about this because at the end of the day, I got a lot of different hats that I wear. And when I'm on YouTube, it's just one hat. So I'm not begging people to support information that I know is solid. I'm not begging people to support my critique because I know my critique is very strong. So if you don't catch it today, you might catch it a week later. You might catch it too late, but catching it too late is better than not catching it at all. You know what I'm saying? You could pass it down to your loved ones if it's not there on time to help you, if you haven't figured it out on time enough to help you. I'm just trying to give some facts and bring some perspective that you might not have, given the fact that I'm a American citizen. My family is from the United States of America, been there since the colonial period, and maybe even parts of my DNA a little before that, right? But so I'm here living outside of the US and I'm just sharing what a regular how different it looks once you get outside into another Western country, another NATO country. Some of the differences like education, paid education instead of debt education, um, you know, uh, universal health care instead of debt health care. You see what I mean? Instead of sell your house health care, lose your home health care, be homeless health care. I'm not talking about that American style. I'm talking about same amount of money, even less, can get everybody better if you do collective bargaining. Collective bargaining with science seems to work pretty well in other countries, but don't let that fool you if you're, you know, thinking that Elon Musk works. By the way, there's news about Elon Musk, but I'm not going to go there yet. I'm going to give my stock tips. Well, I'm going to give you a tip right now before I break it down later today. But along with this evening's broadcast, which, by the way, the broadcast is about what again? What's it going to be about? Let me check here because I got a million of these popping off. Right. Tonight's live is going to be, I have to rename it, but it is going to be about millions of votes were purged. We're going to find out how they were purged, how they were, and how it flipped the election. Yes, this is about to be official news, y'all. But I'm also going to add to this some stock information. And I'm gonna tell people that's listening right now, if you have Elon stock, Musk stock, Tesla stock specifically, you might want to sell it before you are not able to get your money out. Because there are rumors right now that within the next week's time, or close, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, I don't know, but just following bank activity, usually the signs that are being shown in banks when it comes to Tesla and what they're doing themselves with their own connections point to bankruptcy. And once Tesla files for bankruptcy, your stock is over. It's done. It is not worth what it is right now. So I'm telling you, if you have your Tesla stock, you might want to look into selling it today. Tomorrow is Monday. Stock market is open Monday. You might want to get on that train. Now, I'm not an expert. This is not stock advice. I'm not promising you anything. But what I'm telling you is a person that owns stock, myself, that looks into these matters every day of the week. I follow trends, and that came up in my radar. I don't own Tesla stock, but this issue about what is about to happen with the banks and Tesla points to Tesla going bankrupt. That's all I'm saying. And since I care about my stocks, if anybody told me that, I would be selling that shit now, because it ain't nothing but pushing a button. All you gotta do is push a button nowadays. You, where I'm at, you can buy stock and sell it through your own bank online banking. You don't need an extra app. I don't know where you are in the U.S. why you have a middleman doing your financial stuff in order for you, but you might want to get into understanding it yourself too, especially when it comes to your stock investments. But in any case, let's proceed. The question of right now is, who is this joker? Who is Enrique Tario? Who is Henry? Y'all, we got a Henry out here who is really, really, really problematic, and probably more sick to people that are closely related to him, because those are the people that want to believe you're good. But I don't buy this shit myself. I think he's a scumbag, a confused individual. And let's just start off with who he is, and then this will give perspective to his ranting, what he does. Here, let's go.
The leader of the Proud Boys, Enrique Tario, has a controversial background shaped by his political activism, business ventures, and legal troubles. Here's an overview. Personal background. Name, Henry Enrique Tario. Birthplace, Miami, Florida. Ethnicity, Tario is of Afro-Cuban descent. Age, born in 1984, approximately 40 years old. Business and professional life. Entrepreneur, Tario has owned various businesses, including a security equipment company and a poultry farming operation. Proud Boys merchandise. He sold merchandise for the Proud Boys and other far-right organizations through his business, 1776 shop. Role in the Proud Boys. Position. Tario became the chairman of the Proud Boys in 2018. Stance. Under his leadership, the group became more visible and controversial, especially for its involvement in protests, street clashes, and far-right rallies. Tactics. Tario emphasized the Proud Boys' willingness to confront groups like Antifa, labeling the organization as Western chauvinists. Legal issues. 1. 2012 conviction. Tario served time for federal fraud charges related to a scheme involving the reselling of stolen medical equipment. 2. 2021 arrest. Tario was arrested for burning a Black Lives Matter banner stolen from a historic black church in Washington, D.C. He was also charged with illegal possession of high-capacity firearm magazines. 3. January 6th Capitol riot. While Tario was not present at the Capitol on January 6, 2021, due to prior legal restrictions, he was later convicted on charges of seditious conspiracy for planning and orchestrating activities related to the riot. In September 2023, he was sentenced to 22 years in prison, the longest sentence related to the insurrection. Revelations about FBI cooperation. In 2014, it was revealed that Tario acted as an FBI informant, cooperating with law enforcement on cases unrelated to his later activities with the Proud Boys. This disclosure created tension within far-right circles. Public image. Tario is a polarizing figure, with supporters viewing him as a defender of free speech and opponents condemning him for his role in advancing extremist ideologies. His Afro-Cuban heritage has been used by some to counter allegations of racism within the Proud Boys, though the group has been widely criticized for its involvement in hate-driven activities. Would you like more details on his leadership or legal cases?
All right, so I'm going to pause that right there. I hope everybody heard that description of him. Now, let me see. Before I play this, I want to go back to this. Look at his start. Look at this. This is not a long time ago. He's Afro-Cuban descent, blah blah blah, and also a whole lot of other shit in there. I'm just going to say that myself. Um, it's guaranteed, because he definitely doesn't look African. He looks on the pale side. of of it. But I'm not saying that that's not true. Afro-Cuban descent. I don't know what part of Africa he might be claiming, but Afro-Cuban doesn't necessarily mean African either. It's an ethnicity. It means partial African descent, largely, right? For as it does with many people, but he identifies as that, as an Afro-Cuban. So there must be some other things: a nice Afro-Cuban dish, a nice Afro-Cuban song somewhere in there, a nice Afro-Cuban haircut, if a hairdressing, if different from Africans. But in any case, just to be thorough about this, he's 40 years old. He's 15 years younger than me. And I'm going to tell you, this guy, 40 years, if you had stuck with one thing, I might think, damn, maybe there's something there. But look, entrepreneur. Tario has owned various businesses, including, guess what? None of them had nothing to do with each other. No connection outside of grifting. Look, including a security equipment company and poultry farming operation. Wow, those two go hand in hand. Let me see. I want to sell you. I know about security. And by the way, you want to buy some chickens. Where did they do that? I guess in Florida. Um, Proud Boys merchandise. He sold, or I'm sorry, y'all. A lot of people do that, but I'm just saying this is the leader. Damn. He sold merchandise for Proud Boys and other fire right organizations through his business 1776 shop. So this is probably the best business he's had. I see what he wants. He wants to sell some t-shirts. He wants to sell some equipment. He wants to sell a camouflage jacket. He wants to sell a Trump button. He wants to sell a gas mask, you know? And if you want some chicken, he can do that too, apparently. Um, now, but this is troubling because this is his business and professional life. It doesn't pass this. This is it. Security equipment company. Come on, man. What is that? This is some ragtag. What are they selling in there? What is this really? A club, a billy club, a can of mace. What the hell? Security equipment company. A vest, a bulletproof vest. Okay, whatever. I get it. But even look, all of that shit has nothing to do with leadership. You see what I mean? It has nothing to do with leadership, selling these goods. There's people that are great leaders, and then you have generals that do jobs. This guy's the damn chairperson. All right. But in any case, he sold merchandise to Proud Boys. All right. Now look, role in Proud Boys. Tario became the chairman in 2018. That's just around the corner. That's after Trump lost the election, right? Or won the election. 2018? Yeah. 2 years after Trump won the election. So you could see he's essentially a pawn. Now, he's a pawn of other people that aren't in the Proud Boys, but he's willing to be that pawn for them. He's an important pawn. As you see, if he wasn't an important pawn piece, he wouldn't be on CNN. He wouldn't have been pardoned also for the types of crimes. But they're using this guy because this guy don't have shit. He's a chicken seller by the lowest degree in Florida. Okay, that's not big chicken working, right? That's little chicken working. Um, and on top of it, he's selling, military trinkets, buttons, bulletproof vest, camouflage jacket, mace, crap like this. Okay, so I could see why he would want to wrap that in some sort of facade, political facade, because you could get a lot more attention. So this guy probably sells a lot of stuff to these Proud Boy people. That's obvious, the obvious connection. And it's like that in a lot of these right wing groups, man. He is what is called, what the hell is the term? A grifter. This guy is better than Tariq Nasheed with his grifting, but he's very similar to Tariq Nasheed with his grifting because you don't even know who the hell Tariq Nasheed is. Who is he? Who's his real name? What's his ethnicity for real? What's behind it? I mean, he got similar traits. He's selling products here. Buy this flag. Another trait, buy this FBA thing, buy that. And politically, totally for Trump, even if he doesn't say it. Politically, totally against the Democratic Party, the party that's talking about healthcare, the party that's talking about education in real terms, The party that's talking about equal housing in real terms, he's against that party. He's for the billionaire party. So he's willing to be used, just like this Tariq, just like Enrique. These are people that are nobodies, just like anybody else. The difference is they're willing to be used politically for something they don't give a fuck about the United States of America. Tariq Nasheed or Enrique. These kind of people, they only give a fuck as long as you're putting something in their pockets. You see, and this guy clearly, his vocal rhetoric is clearly connected to his money that he's making. You see, now there was none of that before. You see, Proud Boys 2018. But when did he start this shop, this security shop? When did he open his security shop? I should have said, and when did he start chicken farming? Let's look at the dates here. 2013. See, so 2013. So then you have 5 years later, he's the chairman of Proud Boys. You see, so there's a direct correlation here. He probably saw the Proud Boys as a place he could sell memorabilia or security bullshit items, right? That's obviously what it is. The company was based in Miami, Florida, specialized in providing security and surveillance equipment such as camera, GPS tracking devices. Tario makes these products to both consumers and businesses. This is garbage, though. This is garbage security shit anybody can get. This venture was one of the several entrepreneurial efforts by Tario before his leadership role in the Proud Boys. Right. The other one was chicken. Okay. What about chicken? Let's see here. What about chicken? He also involved in the poultry business. He operated a company, and I guarantee this is something he has personal experience with growing up, maybe. He operated a company because I don't. In DC, we don't have chickens. All right. I'm just going to say that. I don't know what the hell raising a chicken is like. I've seen it on YouTube, though. It happens on farms, but it don't happen in DC. So Enrique Tario was involved in the poultry business. He operated a company called Tario Poultry Farm, which specialized in selling and distributing chickens to various vendors and businessmen in Miami area. This business was part of his broader entrepreneurial activities before becoming widely known for his role in the Proud Boys. So before he became known to the Proud Boys, he was known as a chicken guy. But when did he start a chicken business? Oh my goodness. Yeah, give me a real date. 2010. So you see, he had started the chicken before the security. He started in the mid 2010s. Exact year is unclear, but public records and interviews suggest it was around 2014 or 15. So he started this basically simultaneously. This is so he don't have experience really in none of this shit. Cause I'm gonna tell you, this amount of years in chicken or this amount of years in security equipment doesn't amount to much at all. I'm just gonna be real with you. This is garbage. I'm not saying it's not good for a person to pay your bills and have a business and be sure. I'm not saying that. I'm talking about to be the leader of a political organization. This is garbage experience. This is nothing, dude. This is. But what's even more disgusting is that it's nothing, but he expects a penny for it. This is not human rights. Human rights. People fight human rights every day, not getting a penny for it, doing wonderful things for free, for the betterment of their communities, for their people, for their nation. This is not one of these individuals. And this is why I criticize legacy media, because they don't go hard enough on these people, just spitting the facts. We need to know this. She need to ask him a question about chicken. CNN needs to ask him a question about chicken farming. She needs to ask questions about, they need to ask questions about some of this other stuff. How about ask him a question about selling stolen medical equipment. Why is that not there? Look at this. The man has a criminal record. 2012. Look, before he opened his businesses, before he even got into security, before he got into chickens, just right before that, Tario served time for federal fraud charges related to a scheme involving the reselling of stolen equipment. Can you tell me about the stolen equipment? Let's see here. Sorry about that, y'all. I'm gonna get busy now. In 2012, Enrique Tario was convicted of his involvement in a scheme involving stolen medical equipment. Here, I mean, stolen medical equipment. So, okay, who you robbing? Old people, sick people? Damn. Details of the scheme, nature of the crime. Tario was part of a group that operated a scam to resell stolen diabetic test strips. Yes, y'all. How many people suffer from diabetes in the US? How many people's lives did they affect by the resale of stolen diabetic test strips? I wonder how much they sold them for. I wonder who they stole them from. Role in the scheme. Tario admitted to relabeling the stolen medical devices to make them appear legitimate for resale. So he is directly a part of the scam himself. He snitched on himself. He admitted it himself. I wonder if he snitched on other people. Probably. Let's move on. Yeah, he was a government informant. He snitched on some other people. This might be the actual fraud case that he snitched. Extent of the fraud. The scheme was part of a larger operation involving the sale of these stolen goods across various platforms. Charges. Tario was charged with conspiracy to commit fraud. Yes, he is a fraud conspirator. He just learned how to be involved in a bigger fraud. And guess what? Once Trump is out of office and once Congress has become sane again, these cats need to go back in jail because they're just fraudsters. A fraud doesn't give a damn about the United States Constitution, although he will say he does. He will say it like a fraud would say it. Sentence. He was sentenced to 30 months in federal penitentiary. That means he snitched on his co-conspirators for his role in the scheme. Because 30 months ain't shit. And by the way, you could do a lot longer, especially when you're doing the shit you're doing. He admitted to relabeling the stolen goods himself. All right. Aftermath. Following his release, Tario reportedly worked to rebuild his reputation and pursue entrepreneurial ventures. Exactly. All he did was get more elaborate with his scheming. Revelations about FBI cooperation. As part of the fallout from this case, it was later revealed that Tario cooperated with law enforcement in the unrelated cases during this time. This cooperation involved providing information on other criminal activities, which later sparked controversy within far right circles when it became public knowledge. You have to understand this man is a fraud. He's not even really respected by any real right wingers. But like I told you, he's a pawn for some other more dangerous people. But he is purely a pawn. This cooperation involved providing information on the criminal activities, which later sparked controversy within the far. I mean, he's probably a pawn. So what's that guy that was down with Trump's first election campaign? Roger something. He went to he got charges. Those first groups of people down with him, they were involved in some things, reaching out to different people across the country, different organizations, different groupings of people, and he probably Roger, whatever his name is, probably reached out to this guy and got him involved. I'm telling you, because he was the lead. He was the lead for Trump in that first election bid. That guy went to jail. What's his name? Roger something. I'm going to find out for you. In any case, the cooperation involved providing information on other criminal activities, which later sparked controversy within far right circles when it became public knowledge. Yes. Who is associated? Was he associated? Was he associated with Roger Stone? I mean, all of this is around the same time. I wouldn't be surprised. Look at this. I mean, I have to pull this back up. Yes, he has been associated with Roger Stone. And for people that don't know, Roger Stone, he spent a lot of time reaching out to people on the ground. Like, you may never meet Trump and you may never meet somebody like Elon Musk because they're not dumb enough to directly implicate themselves. But these were basically henchmen. Roger Stone is like a real Trump henchman. And Roger Stone, obviously, it says here, yes, Enrique Tario has been associated with Roger Stone, the longtime Republican political consultant and ally of Donald Trump. Here's an overview. Tario's relationship, well, now Roger Stone is much more serious. He's much more serious. I mean, he got the goodies on all of these people. Um, Close ties. Tario has expressed admiration for Roger Stone and has been seen with him at various political events. You see, so he's a pawn for Roger Stone and for some others above Roger Stone. Roger Stone is like a general, um, but he got convicted, and there's nothing that can really help him because he's in trouble on so many different levels, right? But I wonder if Trump tried to give him a pardon yet. But in any case, their associated is rooted in shared far right wing political activism and support for Donald Trump campaign support. Tario reportedly helped support Stone during his legal battles and public appearances related to the Mueller investigation into the Russian interference in 2016. So you see, when you got a pawn, it's good to have a guy that you can replace, get rid of. And Enrique fits the description of a person you can easily get rid of, a person who's willing to do anything because they owe everything to you. I guarantee you, this man owes everything to Roger Stone. His business, selling these items and these goods, I bet you this man never had a real check, before he met Roger Stone. I'm telling you that. That's my guess. Tario reportedly helped support Stone during his legal battles, yeah, in 2016. All right. Advisory role. Stone has been described as a mentor or advisor to Tario Stone's influence. I'm sorry. Stone's influence may have helped Tario navigate political and media strategies as the leader of the Proud Boys. You see? You see what I'm saying? I didn't know this, y'all. I only made the profile based on listening to Enrique. After thinking about it for a second, I just said this sounds like he's a pawn for Roger Stone because I know Roger Stone was out meeting with people across the country, people on the ground. I'm just talking about everyday people, not maybe not the dumbest, but not the cleverest either. Because a clever person like myself might listen, but then I would see the scam and back off. You see, but these people, like this guy, they're not bound to human rights. Tario's not bound to human rights. He's not bound to ethics and morals. There is no thing where it says you have to leave people better off than when you met them. He doesn't have any type of oath like that. You see what I mean? The impact that he has on people. He has none of that. And these people can be very vicious, but also very stupid because again, a pawn is the person that's going to pay the ultimate price for the others. I guarantee you, something is not going to happen right with this guy, Tario. When they want to get rid of him, they're going to get rid of him. Both Tario and Stone frequently appeared together at Republican events in Florida, underscoring their mutual connections within Trump's political orbit. January 6th, Stone was present in Washington, D.C. during the events surrounding the Capitol riot. On January 6, 2021, though he denies involvement in planning or promoting violence, Tario was not at the Capitol that day due to prior legal restrictions, but was later convicted for seditious conspiracy related to Proud Boys. You know, There's a lot of people who harbor resentment towards the government or towards a state or the police, because maybe something happened to them that wasn't right. Look, I've been the victim of police brutality in Maryland. I'm from DC, but occasionally I might drive my ass out to Maryland. And even though I live in Europe right now, but when I did as a young man drive out to Maryland, the few times I drove to Maryland from DC, because when you're from DC, we don't really need shit from Maryland, but every once in a while you might know a girl or a friend or something that live out there. You go out there and holler at them. Right now, I happened to go out there with one of my homeboys driving back from the little thing we went to. We get pulled over by the police brutality. We didn't have anything on us. There's no criminal record involved. There's no stolen car. The car is brand new. The car has tags on it associated with the driver. The driver doesn't have a criminal record. Simple and plain. But that wasn't enough for them. See, they wanted to plant something on us, but we went to court and fought it. But actually, I should have sued their ass for police brutality. But back in those days, the government wasn't even giving a damn. The federal government about police brutality. That not that they weren't giving a damn, but they weren't strong enough. They didn't have any teeth coming into these states. Today it's a little different, a lot different, thanks to the many people that worked on that, the activists and politicians. Thank you. But when I was a young man, it was worse. Um, not in DC, but as a DC person going to Maryland, we could expect Maryland police or Virginia police to harass us. Yes, we could. You know, um, public perception, mutual support. Tario has defended Stone public. So look, this guy is connected to Roger Stone, and what I'm telling you is that Roger Stone is like a general. He's replaceable too, but he's like a general. He have all the dead bodies, and he went out to different cities. He organized with people on the ground in different cities to come up with a name list, name of individuals you can recruit, reliable recruits, people that you can mix up in it. And what I'm saying is that if you don't have your head wrapped on totally right, you might mistake that for finding a real friend when it really you're finding someone who just wants to use you. So that appears to be what this guy was on. So let me go back to this one. Y'all can probably hear my cat making some being a beggar today. Let's go back to his statements. Now, this is the man talking.
You talked about what happened. You don't like what happened, especially the police officers, but you called the prosecution for yourself and so many others a miscarriage. Do you see what you have done as anything wrong?
I don't see as what I've done anything wrong. I was improperly indicted. I do see it as a miscarriage of justice. And I think, like I said before, I can't condone like assaults on a police officer, but I think President Trump said it right. He was going to go case by case, and he did. And it wasn't the actions that he pardoned; it was the miscarriage of justice that he pardoned. Why he pardoned. And
isn't that one and the same in the end, though?
Just no, it's not, because the process has to be fair, right? If the process isn't fair, then the process is corrupt. If the process is corrupt, therefore the only solution to this is a pardon.
What part of the process do you feel was unfair to you?
We pulled it off. We actually
talking. He's been prepared. He's being prepared by people to make these points. These are not his talking points. These are talking points that he's been prepared to say. The second thing is, I'm sorry, y'all, but a guy who's wearing dark shades on a news program is a person purposely attempting to hide their eyes and hide if they're intoxicated or high. That's really what's going on here. And I don't know why CNN didn't request that he remove those glasses, because those glasses are not for seeing. I mean, if they are, they should explain it to people, because it looks like this man is hiding something when he wears those glasses, hiding whether he's drunk or high on drugs, or high, or whether he's affected by some sort of medication. When the police pull you over in a car, they used to just look at your eyeballs to know, what should we do from here? Do we need to give a test? Do we need to check for something? before they go through all the other shenanigans. And this guy got his eyes covered up. You see what I'm saying? So to me, I don't consider this to be a valid interview. I consider him to be showing signs of lying and being prepped for this interview for political purposes because he is, in fact, a pawn for something deeper and sinister. This man's life is in danger. His own life is in danger because the people that are putting him up to this don't need his dumbass at all. He's already done the job. He's just closing it up, making a second round, but he's done. He's done.
For me to talk about all those things, the process is corrupt. Therefore, the only solution to this is a pardon.
What part of the process do you feel was unfair to you?
I think starting the biggest one, because I don't think we have enough time in this show for me.
Just listen to this guy. I'm sorry about that. I had to pause for a second. But just listen to this guy and think. We already heard earlier that this guy, he's pretty much a pawn. Now here's the thing. Um, I'm going to put this in the chat for people to check out themselves, right? And and you can hear more about what it says. But here's the main one of the main concerns. What they're talking about is foreign government tampering in U.S. Local elections and U.S. just politics in general. Now, no matter if you're against, let's say you're against the Republican Party or you're against the Democratic Party, that's one thing. To seek help and aid from a foreign government that's essentially an enemy of yours to every American citizen, that should be seen as treason. What Roger Stone did should be seen as treasonous. Um, why Congress won't pick up that banner and start charging people of aiding and abetting foreign government enemy and sharing information or being willing to cooperate with it knowingly, these people know about it. I'm gonna tell you, this guy must know something about Russia. He might claim to not know anything, of course, because that would be stupid. He would go to jail, right? But this is not so innocent. Um, just because they didn't prove it doesn't mean it's not happening. You see, just like they claim the government is out to get them and they never prove it, even when they're in office. Trump had been in office for 4 years. He never came up. His own DA, his own appointee to the Justice Department couldn't find any wrongdoing. Duh. So they make that claim. But the truth of the matter is that the reality is that it's more the opposite. These people are colluding with foreign governments against other American citizens. Now, when you have people, a political movement in your country that's colluding with a foreign government, you must say it. You must say that's pretty much what it looks like. And you have to start understanding how you can defend yourself from that. This guy is a complete, utter hoax. He was used. He allowed people to use him because he had a weakness. He ain't got no money. He's a failed business person. And to make his business successful, he finally became successful when he linked up with Roger Stone because he could sell some of this security stuff, mace. He probably sold some of the shit they use as weapons there. So understand this. There's more to come. I don't know why he would bring his ass back out there on TV. If I was him, I would go and hide. But he made one other statement. Check this out. They posted a statement, and look at how he explains this. This is ridiculous. He said one thing before. Now he totally flipped the script.
Were caused grief and suffering, and I will have to live with that shame and disappointment for the rest of my life. I thought of myself morally above others.
Rights to say that, just as I defend the rights of anybody's opinion on what happened on January 6th. And I don't think it was a revision of history.
Look, so this is gaslighting. He respects anybody's opinion about what happened on January 6th, except the people that were in the building and the police and everybody's opinion there that told them, what are you doing? You shouldn't be here. You can't do this. They didn't respect that opinion. And now he's Mr. I respect your opinion. Yo, listen to me. If you follow this man, if you trust him, he will rob you and probably kill you. If you let him anywhere near your family or anything like that, that's what this guy's do. And he's telling you that. He's just saying, hey, forgive me again. Give me one more opportunity to do the same. This is gaslighting. They didn't respect anybody's freedom of speech. When they were told to leave, they didn't leave. That was the law. They were supposed to leave. And now he's trying to act like it's a crime. It wasn't a crime. Oh, it was peaceful protesters. You broke a window to enter. You threw tear gas in. They used all types of weapons. They had bombs present. And listen to how this guy is talking.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I want you to finish your point, but I just remember your sentencing. You called it a national embarrassment. You spoke about how you felt about, you apologized to police officers and lawmakers who fled in fear that day. One of the things you said was, I am extremely ashamed and disappointed that they were caused grief and suffering, and I will have to live with that shame and disappointment for the rest of my life.
So what did he expect them to do? Surrender? You expect the police to surrender to you and just say, okay, come on in, find Nancy Pelosi, kill her, and then find Mike Pence and hang him. We give up, y'all. And he's like gaslighting now. He's ashamed that it had to come to that, but it was their fault. I mean,
thought of myself morally above others, and this trial has humbled me and showed me how wrong I truly was to believe that. So
he said that because he was facing 30. He was facing life in prison. So he said this. He said what he had to say because he's a liar. He's not a patriot. A patriot wouldn't just change their words to get out of something. That's not what patriots do. Okay? Patriots tell you what they feel and tell you to go fuck yourself when they think that you've crossed the line. That's what they do. This guy flipped the whole script. Listen to his patriotism.
I will have to live with that shame and disappointment for the rest of my life. I thought of myself morally above others, and this trial has humbled me.
This guy's not living with any pain or any suffering. He's not living with it. He's probably a drug addict. I'm telling you that straight up. Like this guy, Elon Musk too. You don't know what these guys are doing because they do see themselves above the law. Have you heard this guy ever come out and talk about the hurdles or the problems of drug use? I'm telling you, they must have something on this guy to where they own him.
And showed me how wrong I truly was to believe that. So sitting here today, do you no longer believe those statements?
I want to be clear. When I say I am sorry or I apologize for those to those officers that were assaulted and those members of Congress that were scared, I want to be clear. I said I'm.
Listen to this. And to those members of Congress that were scared, like they were just scared. They just scared of what? Of a shadow in the corner? Scared of what? This, you hear this? You hear how much gaslighting this is? Look, the next time this man confronts anybody, he needs to be shot. Like straight up. Because if he is not, he's going to harm you, maim you, and then explain to the public how it was your fault and how he felt so bad about it.
Sorry for it. But then I said, it wasn't because of me. It wasn't because of my actions I said I'm sorry for it, but then I said, it wasn't because of me. It wasn't because of my actions that occurred. It's just me.
You see? You see that? So he just came out here and he's letting you know. He's letting you know that there is going to be more. Why? Because people that use this tactic as a tool politically, which they've been very effective with, this gaslighting, hit you with a bomb, gaslight it and tell you, I'm sorry. Say, fuck you, get out of my country, gaslight you and say, I'm sorry, but it was just because, you wasn't really clear about your ethnicity. Uh, you know, they do things and blame other people, the people they do things to. They blame them for their own actions. I mean, that's crazy, but this is what's going on. So you don't know where it is, but this is their tactic, and they are telling other people to use the same tactic. Attack, blame the people you're attacking. Hurt, blame the people you hurt. Violate the law, blame the judges, blame the court system, blame the police. That is what this man did. That's what he's doing. And if he's going to do it to the justice system, if he's going to do it to the police, he's going to do it to you too if you give him a chance.
Me being sorry for what happened that day, and I truly was. So I do stand by those statements.
Oh, you sound really passive when you say that, though. He doesn't sound very determined. He just sounds like, hey, it's just another day. I feel sorry.
It wasn't because of my actions that occurred. It's just me being sorry for what happened that day, and I truly was. So I do stand by those statements.
I am curious.
But who gives a fuck if you're sorry? You're not on trial anymore. I don't give a shit if you're sorry. Fuck you being sorry. You're not responsible for your actions. This is ultimately what you're saying. You're saying you can do all that you did, collaborate, corroborate, sell products to, instigate, and go right along with the order to attack the Capitol. And you're saying to everyone else, but it wasn't your doing. It was because they made you do it.
Curious why you celebrated the actions that day. What did you believe was happening? And did you believe that members of your organization were involved in the violence?
As of right now that I can think of, no Proud Boys were convicted of like direct assault on a police officer. They walked in and they walked out.
Well, you say they walked in and walked out.
All right, so there's enough of that. In any case, I just wanted to give y'all some background on this guy. He's a loser. He's a scumbag. This is the type of man that is essentially a scammer. But he got a promotion because of his scamming. But he got picked out. You got to understand, they pick out people with weaknesses to do their bidding so they can control them. So they found this guy, and intellectually, this guy is weak. So they ran this game on him. They run the game, and the guy's willing to take the game because for some reason, somewhere in him, he feels like he is justified. If the rest of Americans, if the people that are not happy with Trump did this, he would be on the other side. He would be protecting Trump. He would be saying, you don't have the right to react this way when you are facing injustice by Trump. Only we have the right, the people that support Trump, to participate in these actions when we feel we are wronged by the government or the political structure or the justice system or whatever. Right? Yeah. Let me check something out real quick though. One last thing here, because this guy is pretty much full of shit. But I'm curious, like, why they don't Proud Boy Enrique was arrested for fraud. Now let me see how many news agencies covered this. Like, how many people really just said this? Look, this guy's still out here. I did nothing wrong. We know because you were pardoned. A pardon means even if you did something wrong, no one can look at it anymore. The justice system can't, all the other things don't apply. But by the way, state level, he hasn't been, it's still a crime in DC. So, the DC government can still prosecute this guy because he did these actions in DC. I'm not sure how they split that up. The federal, look at this, the federal thing, but hold on. How they break up the state land from the federal land. This guy is basically a grifter. So he's cool with that. He doesn't have any ambitions to help people. He doesn't have any ambitions to be honest, because he has learned that being honest and doing things the right way does not pay off. And this is what he's hoping to, use to connect with other people, to make people who aren't really victims feel like they're victims. And he's shown you what they will do with that. There won't have to be facts before they violently assault you. Okay, performer. Okay. I mean, this guy, he just made me sick, man. Turn the guns out. Okay, now, sorry about that. There's one other guy that's been released. Now, there's plenty of people that have been released, but there's one guy specifically who, is that here? Let's see. Yeah, it is here. There's one guy specifically that was released. Let me see where he is. He's somewhere in here. It is. Boom. Then, let's go to
once you begin dating
to Midas Touch here and see what they got on Legal AF. Let's see here. Turn that down 2 seconds.
A magic wand without doing any vetting and just decides to pardon all 1,600 of the Jan 6 defendants without reference to whether they committed violent acts against law enforcement. I'm Michael Popak. You are on Legal AF. Take a moment, hit the free subscribe button. Let's get to it. Daniel Charles Ball, Homosassa, Florida. Bad dude. That's not me making a moral judgment. I'm observing his long rap sheet. He had 3 prior felonies before Jan 6, including what else? Resisting arrest and assault on police officers and domestic violence and the rest that went along with that. That's the reason he's a felon that can't have a gun even in Florida. Fast forward to Jan 6th. This delightful asset to society decides that he's not only going to go to Jan 6, but as alleged in his indictment, he's going to fashion a bomb and use it at the Western Tunnel, which was the scene of the most pitched medieval battle of them all for the soul of democracy. You know, if you or I made a bomb, I mean, that's enough, by the way, and then decided to take that bomb and throw it at law enforcement, I'm not sure I'd still be on this network or channel.
But Trump, he thinks that that was a good thing, and he stand behind the parole of this guy. This guy had a bomb. You know what I'm saying? And listen, you might think it's funny. Some of you might think it's funny, but listen, the Ku Klux Klan have run through plenty of towns in America with bombs. What have you done about it to stop it? So if you've never done something to stop it, you probably shouldn't be the ones laughing, because they might have you in mind too. You know, the first thing is to push around the government. Once you can push around the government, and well, hey, you can push around anybody else, to be honest with you. So a lot of people found that funny. Okay, but I think a lot of those people, they only find it funny until it happens to them. Pretty much. Hey, what's up? What's up, Bev? Yeah, yeah, exactly. But I'm going on live tonight too, so don't worry. Tonight's live is going to be like 3 hours. So, yeah, and it's a few different topics, but more political stuff, obviously. None of the other shenanigans, because I ain't got time for that, you know. But yeah, let me know what you think about this Enrique guy, and I'm glad you're doing well. Bev's is in the East Coast and out of New Jersey, but let me know if you heard from Love Me Fro, also Love My Fro or Love Me Fro from Los Angeles, from California, because I haven't heard from her in some weeks now, and I'm starting to think, like, you know, I'm hoping that she didn't get affected by these fires, but it's pretty likely that she did, and so, you know, just to let Love My Fro know, or Love Me Fro know, that we all thinking about her, and to chime in, hope everything is well, and just let us know how you doing. Um, on that note, let's hear a little bit more about what this guy got to say. I got to be out real quick.
Do you? No.
Oh, by the way, this is Michael Popak, y'all.
But we now know how people like Daniel Charles Ball, who was so bad that Rudy Contreras, the federal judge, did not even let him out before trial, because he's that bad. He's one of the Jan 6 chorus members, if you know what I mean. Okay. So you have this guy. Now, how did we get here? J.D. Vance tells Donald Trump, I'm sorry, I'm so used to talking about Joe, tells Donald Trump, don't do this, boss. This is my artist rendering. Don't release them all. Not the most violent ones, not the ones that attack law enforcement. We're the Republican Party. We're supposed to protect the blue. Remember all those blue American flags, protect the blue? Yeah, and that's what other Republican senators are saying, the same thing. We're supposed to be law and order. How are you going to at least carve out the subset of felons who beat law enforcement? Now, this is the new reporting. Donald Trump got fatigued during the process because he has a very short attention span. Okay. And it's getting shorter as he gets older. And that's why they didn't give him the presidential briefings when he was the president the first time. After like a year or two, they stopped giving it to him. They stopped giving him the books. He would doodle in them. He would rip them up. He wouldn't pay. He'd wander around. I mean, unless it's a golf game, Diet Coke and McDonald's, he doesn't pay attention. Without reference.
Oh, damn, y'all didn't hear me? I'm sorry. Thank you for talking. Look at this. Can y'all see this? Let me pull this back up because you didn't hear it. So let me read this. I'm sorry about that. I'm gonna have to edit this video. Look at what the damn police said. Look, about Trump pardoning the person with the bomb. Yes, President Donald Trump recently pardoned individuals involved in Jan 6, 2021 Capitol riot, including those who assaulted law enforcement officers. Among those pardoned was a Florida man who prosecutors allege attacked police with an explosive device during the riot. Now, keep in mind, this is Florida. Who comes from Florida? The leader of the Proud Boys, Enrique. He's also from Florida. So these two men are in the same state, right? And they also happen to find their way in front of the Capitol that day. Among those pardons, or somewhere, among those pardoned was a Florida man who prosecutors allege attacked police with an explosive device during the riot. Following his pardon, the individual was arrested on pending federal gun charges. Now, look, so the guy's in jail for new charges, as per his pardon release. Now, but check this out. These pardons have been met with significant criticism from law enforcement communities. The Fraternal Order of Police and the International Association of Chief Police issued a joint statement condemning the pardons, stating that they sent a dangerous message that the consequences for attacking law enforcement are not severe. Wrong, wrong, wrong. These people attacked the Constitution of the United States. These people attacked the United States of America, and you fucking police, after the election, are talking this shit how it sends a dangerous president. Yo, you were supposed to be on guard defending people, y'all. You didn't. You didn't come out and make these statements before Trump was elected a second time. It's too late. You have put the country at risk because of your dereliction of duty. Don't put this on regular taxpayers. What you have a problem with is national extremist groups that threaten the United States government over and over and over again. And these same people that go out and commit heinous crimes towards average community members, just like they keep threatening to do. You police should be fucking ashamed of yourselves. Like straight up. And that is a well-warranted criticism. That's not abstract or out of a reason. You police failed to protect the United States Constitution. You failed to protect the goddamn government of the United States. You failed to protect the country. That's what's going on here. And guess what? The person who's the president right now is colluding with foreign governments and everybody else right now, right in your goddamn face. And you police ain't doing shit about it. Who pays your tax dollars, police? Who pays your salary? Taxpayers. Who pays it? Taxpayers. What do taxpayers get for that? Okay, let's see. This is what we get. We get a statement. Nothing else. We get a statement. You're not going down to hunt these people down, to stop these people. No, you have been turning a side eye, letting these people get strong right in your goddamn face. And some of these police departments are part of it. Some of these chiefs are part of it. Yes, you all are complete, utter failures and useless, because the American people are now trying to find out how they're going to defend themselves from people like you and the Proud Boys. That's what's going on right now. And the American people should never have to be thinking about that. But they are right now because of the laziness of the police, the inability of the police, the federal government, and everybody to hold these people accountable, including Donald Trump. You all are utter failures to your own country and to your own people, the citizens of the United States of America. This statement made by the police took way too fucking long. They should have been ahead of the curve saying, Trump, are you going to pardon any of these people? Because if you say you're going to pardon one of them, we're not voting for you. No police. That's what they should have been doing before November 7th. But they weren't, though. They weren't doing that, though. Nah. They were scared to play politics. They were accused of playing politics. So they had to let the government be taken over by foreign government because they're afraid of politics. Can you hear me now? Don't forget to say I can hear you now when you say you can't hear me, because I did say I can hear you. But in any case, I see you, Bev. I'm going to be back later on tonight. The Midas Touch and Roland Martin, where I get a lot of the new. Yeah, exactly. They've been on fire. Well, Roland was on fire last night for sure. For real. And he's been on fire. But I encourage people to listen. Stop being dumbasses. Stop making stupid jokes, listen and comprehend what the man is saying, because he knows what he's talking about, because he's been doing the work long enough to know. Okay. Roland Martin is not to be joked with. And I hate when I see people with silly minds make jokes of serious people that outwork them any day of the week. Roland Martin is outworking people every single day of the week, simply spitting the facts. And his cast know what the hell they're talking about, because they're well prepared, equally as prepared. You see, but at least they give Roland his due diligence, his just due, excuse me, because he's doing the work to bring black media together. And these aren't clowns. You know, Tariq Nasheed won't make it because, he's a clown. But, there you go. So I agree with you, Bev. I appreciate you also. Yo, I'm going to be out. I'll be back. I'll be back later on tonight. I'm going to see everybody. Everybody be cool. I appreciate it. Stay up to date with what is going on, because, what's going on right now, you should be afraid. All right? So peace.